Hey everybody, this is Jared Ice and Michael Pegger. This is your podcast for October 12th, 2019, Season 2, Episode 19.
Nice.
I hope you fuckers are doing well. Mike, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Curb?
Mike, if you ask me that one more goddamn time
What?
in my life, I'm going to lose my mind.
You don't have any of the episodes. I don't know if you watch them or if you know them.
Yeah, I saw it. I'll watch it again, okay?
But what do you think of it?
I like it.
All right.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Why'd you get
Mike's
so fucking defensive about this?
You ask me all the time, man.
Anyway, episode 19, people.
Yes. So we just finished Hell Week out here. We're coming at it.
Oh, man. Hell Week, indeed.
This is kind of a complicated month, so we're doing our best to stick with everything.
We're late today, so sorry about that.
Yeah. We're a bit late on this podcast. Mike and I don't usually talk about gigs, but I got an interesting gig coming up.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the Dizzle, we talked about a opera company doing a beer opera, right? And they sent us beer and this type of stuff. And then they actually invited me to come out and take part in it, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, all right. So I'm going to head up there and sing this beer opera, man. And what enticed me the most about it was this clause in the contract that said unlimited pizza and beer.
How long are you there?
Oh, it's like a little over a week.
Look,
I don't think
eat
yeah.
so much pizza in a week.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they said unlimited.
Yep.
Then
how much like a large pizza is like what? $8?
That's a lot, dude. You could eat the equivalent of like a $500-$600 raise in whatever they're paying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is I could eat I know I could eat an $8 pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
Well, that's what
we're already like $25 and then beer on top of that.
You got to assume that so you got to have a strategy going in, right?
Okay.
Because if you lose a day, that's a lot of pizza that you're going to fucking lose.
No, right.
I would like to see you document that you eat nothing but pizza. Is that possible, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I can probably make it happen.
So I think this has got to be your strategy.
Okay.
You have to have at least some grace period where as soon as you get there, you can't expect that the pizza is going to be ready for you right when you get there.
Right.
But any night that you're there and eating pizza,
I got to double down the order for the next morning.
Double down the order for the next morning. You take it home, you wake up, you eat a bunch of cold pizza, which is what you do in the morning, cold pizza.
Yeah, of course.
And then assuming that it's open during the
lunchtime.
Then you're golden. But, you'd have to order then 2 pizzas and have one for the breakfast and one for lunch.
I think I could do 3 meal pizzas a day and a 4th snack meal in between. I could do snack pizza, like pocket pizza, right? Like, have you seen those plastic things that hang on you where you can put a pizza slice in? That's going to be me.
That's ridiculous.
But then I need a strategy for the beer,
We
too.
have to do like a Super Size Me sort of documentary.
Like, how does eating that much pizza and beer affect your ability?
And the red beer. Do you remember the red beer they sent us?
Yeah.
You just eat pizza and red beer.
And fit that in the cracks.
You're going to be shitting blood. If it's not actual blood, it'll look like it.
There's a new beer for the opera. So anyway, I'll be up there. I'll be up there for, I don't know.
That's cool.
The next podcast. You know what I saw recently while we're talking about some opera productions? I think everybody has seen it by now. But this Baroque thing, you saw that, right? That was fucking cool as shit.
I'll link to it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'll tweet the fuck out of that because that was fascinating.
Yeah, I can't remember the opera company though that did it.
It's Bastille in Paris.
Oh yeah. That's right. For you who don't know what we're talking about, they did a production of this Les de Galate, whatever the fuck. I don't know Baroque music.
Rameau.
Yeah. And exactly. And they mixed it with like this Baroque music with street dancing, which of course Baroque music has that strong downbeat where it goes together perfectly. But what I fucking respected about it is whenever people try to do that on stage, they usually do some sort of like the most ballerina-esque street dancing possible. You know what I mean?
That's not what it was.
No, and they included fucking crumping, you know?
Okay. Dude, it was what? Crumping. I don't know that term.
No.
Of course I don't. What are you talking about? Of course I don't
know, man.
That.
I don't know that.
No. You know that my pop culture
Yeah, I mean that's
vocabulary
pretty
is
subculture,
really-
but okay. So breakdancing, you of course recognize those elements of street dance, right? They did breakdancing stuff where they were doing this stuff,
Yeah.
and they did some ballet-esque things, of course, because you have to kind of phase in and out. But there was this one dude that came out and just kind of did this like aggressive arm
yeah.
movement, which is basically like what you would do pre-fight. Right? And it's called crumping. And if you've never looked up the crumping, go to YouTube and look up Crumping World Championship. And I don't care who you are, you'll be impressed that somebody took, how to describe it, basically like what you would do before a fight, you know, in terms of intimidating somebody, like posturing, and they basically turned that into kind of like dance battling.
That makes sense. That makes sense with the way his face was.
Yeah,
Whenever
but-
he did it, he was sort of embodying the aggressive let's fucking fight to the death thing right then.
Dude, look,
it was awesome.
promise
Can
me,
we play
I'll
the music
send you a
here? We're not going to get dinged for that.
I don't really have it set up, but the music doesn't help. But if you go look it up, look
the
it up.
music
okay?
is I'm sorry.
Baroque music's fucking badass.
No, not Baroque music. French Baroque music
Yeah, of course,
gets me rock hard.
Mm.
I mean my penis
Yeah.
is rock hard when I
Okay.
hear it. That's what I mean.
You
I
pull
don't
that
mean
shit up
like
into
a
the waistband.
figurative. I just mean it, I have to, if I'm in public, I've got to hide shit.
Yeah.
Because that music is incredible. There's something
It's so underrated.
It's first off underrated. Secondly, difficult to perform, especially for tenors. There's if there is a tenor involved, it's
Yeah.
normally this what they call a haute contre, right?
Okay.
Which is like in between tenor and countertenor. It's a really specialized thing, and it's really really cool. But the thing about the music is, it's so tied
Yeah.
to the body. It's so tied to rhythmic movements that make you like that just take your body and somehow makes it want to move.
Right.
By the way, anybody who hasn't seen it yet, watch the movie Le Roi Danse. Right? Have you seen it before?
Nope.
It is a movie about the life of Lully, right?
Yeah, okay.
Which Lully was fucking that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
He became a literal musical dictator in
Okay.
France.
Okay.
He had a huge amount of political power in his time. So much so that it was basically forbidden for other people to compose opera when he started to compose opera.
Seriously,
He
okay.
came late. He came kind of late to the game,
Yeah.
right? Because he was about ballet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was Louis the 14th or 16th. I can't remember. Sorry, people. It's the I is either before the V or after the V. I can't remember which one it is.
Mishmash of
Right.
letters, yeah.
Louis the I can't fucking remember. Anyway, that king was a ballet dancer, and Lully composed the fucking music to it.
Yeah.
And when I watched this movie, I mean the movement, the ballet movement is that Lully wrote in a way that just makes you, when you're watching it, you literally move.
Yeah.
And that's what this Rambo was also like.
No. It's cool. And I like that they went there because when people like try to get edgy, and I've seen some other pieces of the production. It looks like a really good production, but when people try to get edgy with like mixing like street dancing with Baroque music, they usually half-ass it. But I felt like that was really fucking authentically
They
done.
used authentic. I'm almost positive they used authentic street.
Of course,
street
no,
dance
there's no way.
artists.
Yeah, it would look too good. But like, you should look like seriously. Go look up the Crumping World Championship and look at like not just the art form itself, but also the crowd interaction. Because that's something we talked about before on the podcast. I miss like when opera is that like you're very disconnected from the crowd. But there's a lot of like jazz and stuff. There's a lot of art forms where you're allowed to like shout out and yell, or you're allowed to interact back. Like stand-up comedies like that. You know, like you're telling some bullshit joke and someone's gonna be like, "You fucking suck," and you're like allowed to engage. And if you engage, then they will engage back with you. You know what I mean?
The thing about it is sometimes fucking opera or orchestral music is so exciting that you want to shout, but sort of tradition in watching one of those things doesn't let you. That's why I love listening to these old Italian recordings where they just fucking lose it in the middle of the opera. They don't stop clapping. They don't stop shouting, even though the opera's going on. Fuck them, right?
And it's one of those things where
And I remember in high school once, I was listening to Dvorak's Ninth, right, at the Pittsburgh Symphony. And me and my friends, we got we were on the edge of our seats like a bunch of fucking high school nerds just getting off on Dvorak, right? And the people in front of us turned around and shushed us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I literally told the guy afterwards, I'm like, you're the fucking reason young people don't come here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you're
man,
the reason, dude.
I was gonna say it's hard. Like there was that thing in the news with that. I don't know much about it, so I can barely talk about it. But that woman stopped the concert because someone was videotaping her while she was playing violin. You know about that?
Oh, give me a fucking break, people.
I can't remember who it was or what the context was, so I can't have too strong of an opinion about it. But it's like, yeah, it's like young people live through their phones and they're gonna videotape the shit that they see that they like, you know. And it's like you kind of gotta fight against it or go with it. You know what I mean?
Here's the stipulation I have. If somebody's gonna videotape me, I want it to be through one of those filters that puts like cat ears or like big eyes or makes you look like a monster. I want to actually have it so that I'm singing and one of those things. Be creative with it, you know?
Yeah, don't
do
just,
something.
I mean, I get it,
I
though.
don't fucking mind. No, I guess I get it because you could have a bad day and you don't want to be out there.
Yeah, because then you're going to end up on fucking This Is Opera and that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like you have some sort of... I'm serious, you know? Like that's...
Mosquito.
But you have to just kind of, I don't know, not give a fuck. Because we talked about it on one of the other podcasts. Like, I do some little shit and someone's there videotaping it. You think someone's not going to videotape, you know, all the stuff, like wherever you do it in whatever village you're in, people are going to pull out their phones, you know?
I mean, it is these people's livelihoods, but they make money on their recordings. But what's going to hurt another recording out?
Yeah, but what's always
recording.
weird is the parallels between the pop world and the classical world. Because yes, the classical world has more of a standard, but in the pop world, of course, every time you sing, every time Adele sings, everybody's recording it,
right?
And they're as judgmental. They might not have the vernacular or the standard that we have in classical music, but they're as judgmental. And if they don't like how you sang, they're gonna put it online and say you fucking suck.
Okay,
you know
let's not be hypocritical though. You and I are huge stand-up fans, right? Yeah. How many times have you heard on a stand-up special, yeah, that's why we took your cell phones? Oftentimes in these specials, you're not allowed to have your cell phone in the audience.
Yeah, but that's more because they want...
Just saying.
Yeah, but I don't think that's because of the, like you're talking about Dave Chappelle.
I think Bill Burr did it too. You hear it all the time.
But that's because... it's not so much that they, what am I trying to say? It's not that they're going to have a bad night. It's that they want to keep their material secret because usually they're building their material towards a special, but also they want to feel free to talk about controversial shit. And in today's world, people will record it and then they'll put it out of context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people forget that comedy is allowed to, or even supposed to be often offensive, shocking, you know? That's a valid form of comedy.
The best comedy is.
But if you're sitting in the context of a 2-hour show, you know, and you do that shit, it was fine. But if you just take a snippet and then out of context, like we talk about this on the podcast all the time. If people took snippets of we said and then like just put it on the internet with no context,
it could absolutely happen. Anybody could record what we're saying and then like take our words, post them together, and it says some terrible shit. It's because we use we say a lot of different words.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this when listening to the other to one of the other podcasts.
Okay.
We have a very wide range of things that we say. We'll describe things in sometimes the most colorful way that we can, which means that we're giving editors the most material possible just to fuck with our shit. Which, whatever, that's what you get for being on the internet.
Yeah, just fucking do it.
Literally what
fuck
you get.
with our shit.
Anyway,
you know?
what I wanted to say about this is I hope it would be awesome to go do a SDAO live at the Bastille and cover that production. Interesting productions. That's what I would like to do with SDAO live is like find out the productions that just get us, pink and swelling, you know?
Yeah, not totally. I would too. So today we're kind of just going to jam a bit. We'll try to empty out our inbox. You want to tip it up or you want to sponsor it up, Mike?
Let's do a tip and then sponsor and then another tip.
I like the way you
See?
think.
Structure.
I got to be careful with my back over here. Hold on.
Is it just the tip now?
Yeah.
Just the tip, love.
Decided to stay quiet during that one.
I didn't.
Let you guys hear it.
I didn't.
I feel pretty mellow today. Feels like a pretty mellow podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's have a mellow tip.
You want to go Mormons or student debt first, Mike?
Mellow tip.
This is a mellow tip today. Mike, you want to go debt or Mormons?
Let's save the Mormons for last. Is it a
not for the last? It's a continuation of the chain we've been working on.
All right, well then go ahead.
Let's go debt. Okay.
Just
because I already clicked
why'd
it, man.
you ask me?
Because I wanted you to give me a direct answer instead of your Willy shenanigans. Jesus fucking Christ.
Mellow day.
Okay. Hi, SDAO. I was wondering if you guys have or possibly will talk about student debt and musicians in classical music. I've heard information about young artist programs. However, there isn't much talk about student debt. People may graduate with a master's degree at 24, 25 of age and have a push to have a solo career before their 30s. How does an opera singer function out of college with debt to pay off? With extremely expensive music institutions, I'm quite confident this thought has gone through the minds of many. Best wishes. Okay.
Have we not talked about this before? I'm sure we have.
I'm sure we have, but maybe we just touch on it again.
Yeah.
Student loan debt. Okay. You got feelings that you want to share, Mike?
Yeah. College in America is outrageously overpriced.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start there.
Outrageously overpriced.
Don't do the debt unless you have to, and you probably don't have to. Yeah. I would take a shot at Europe before you do it in America. You know, if you're going to be racking up debt, racking up 10 grand of debt for a 4-year degree is fine. I think that's fine.
That's fine.
But if you're talking about racking up $80,000 in debt or going to Europe, take the stab at Europe first, and then if it doesn't work out for you, then rebalance things. But the vast majority of people that get like between $60,000 and $80,000 of debt, and of course up, are not going to pay that off as musicians for a very, very, very long time. And you need to know that as a young singer.
Look,
I don't care how fucking good you are and how much potential you hear from your teachers, the vast statistical number of people are not going to touch that debt
absolutely
for a long time, and you're not an exception. We've all been told we're good. We've all been told we're going to have careers, and yet we're all paying off this debt. You know what I mean? You got to know that.
Well, I just think people need to go with a... I look at this as a market approach, right?
Okay.
All these colleges in America, they are treating the whole college experience for young people as a business,
sure.
Right?
I mean, capitalism, like everything.
It's absolutely capitalist, which means you have to. It sounds weird to say, but you got to play that game, and the way you play that game is if the price is too high, you don't buy it.
Yep.
Which means their market price is so high because the students think that there is no option. They think that there's a monopoly when there's not.
Yeah.
They think that they have to go to one of these schools in America that is so fucking expensive. But I'll tell you what, colleges start having a lack of students, those prices will drop real goddamn
fast. This is supply and demand, and they feel like the supply is limited. You know, there's one fucking bottle of milk to buy, it's going to cost $100 but they don't realize that if you start branching out and going to Europe, then you're opening up that market, and they're going to have to readjust, you know. But beyond that...
which I feel bad for voice faculties in saying this because they want good students. They're not making the prices. They're not setting the prices. It's these greedy fucking people at the top who are just building like crazy. Like the university takes on how many millions in debt for just building the newest, greatest technology, building a fucking wave pool.
It's like a sales thing, you know? Yeah, it's like a sales thing. You go to a university, it's like the whole campus is its own thing. You look at these big fucking shiny buildings, and it's like you have a feeling like this is what my money is going to. Is this? And they're selling you an experience of learning.
Right.
But you know what? You know what's crazy about American colleges is because you're so valuable as a student, and I have to tread lightly about this because I can't give away too much information, but I had an experience at my time at university where it's like, there was a student that it was like, you know, this person's obviously not performing to standard. And so I was involved with a meeting with people that made these decisions. And they were like, we can't get rid of this student because they're worth too much money. We have to find another way to get them through.
Insane.
And so this person graduated with like absolutely not the skills needed, awarded for the level of that degree they were given. And this does not happen in Germany. Because in Germany, because you're not paying for school, you're not valuable to the fucking school. Well, and so you get 3 chances and then you are fucking out.
Look,
and so let me just finish my thought real quick. So it's like, you want to talk about like, I want to get a good education. Like the teacher can be good, but you want to ensure that you're being held to the standard. Go somewhere where you don't fucking matter. You know what I mean? And as soon as you fucking suck, they'll kick you out. You know?
It's a good point. Which, by the way, you should want to be kicked out if you actually suck.
Yeah, figure it out early.
Because figure it out early. You don't want to be coddled along. Get that $80,000 worth of debt, and then get out into the world and be like, "Oh man, I fucking suck."
Yeah.
It's not. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get on people who might not be able to make it because that's completely understandable. This shit's hard.
Yeah, and this is hard because you're talking about arts and artistic shit, and you're turning it into a business transaction, which is it's hard enough to make it an academic thing. You know, this intangible thing to be like, you can sing, you can't sing. Right. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But when you make it a business thing, it's like we could get into loans and interest rates and how fucked up. Like 8% interest on a $100,000 loan is fucked up for a house, for a car, for a business. If anyone's giving you $100,000 for 8%, you fucking run away. Right. Okay, but that's what student loans are for the most part. Mortgages in Germany are like below 2%. You know what I mean?
And you can't.
And there's no way out. Yeah. It's an insane way of doing finances compared to anything else in the world. But like, okay, so we've talked about like not getting the loan if you don't have to, but I would like to talk more about like, you have the loan, what do you fucking do? You know, you have a music degree, you have the loan, and my opinion is that in today's world, post-student loan, whatever the fuck, is you have to be singer plus. You know what I mean? You got to be singer plus another skill set that you're developing.
I see what you're saying. You mean in order to have a practical chance of paying off the loan?
Like, for many reasons. One, yeah, you need to raise your earning potential, but two, you need to be developing some sort of plan B. You know, you've invested all your skill set and all your credentials in music, and Singer Plus doesn't mean outside of music. Yeah, if you can learn to work with wood, if you can learn to be a set builder, a tech person, if you can teach a language or something like that, those are secondary skills. But also in the world of music, you know what I mean? If you can do a church gig, opera stuff, concert stuff, like Christmas carol stuff, teach voice lessons, teach beginning piano lessons, maximize your earning potential.
Can I say something?
Yeah, what?
I really just want to say something.
Oh, okay.
This is, I just thought of this.
Okay.
Do you know how many voice lessons $80,000 would pay for? How many voice lessons with a top teacher?
Yeah.
If you just took private voice lessons with a top teacher, you would come out way under 80,000. You'd be let's say you go to a teacher at a university, say, I don't want to come to the university, I want to take private lessons with you. Yep. I want to pay this much. You're going to, you won't have a piece of paper at the end, but guess what? Nobody at an audition gives a fuck about a piece of paper. Yeah. They don't.
No, they do and they don't. I mean, you do need something. You do need something.
Why?
Because that's the system. If you want to play ball the system. But that's also the thing.
System. Do you want to sing or do you want to get a piece of paper?
Well, and that's what you have to know. That's what you have to know. Because the system is rigged to enforce the system. You know? Like, why the fuck do I need an agent when, like, I'm getting gigs myself right in the opera houses? Yeah. This is something I'm going through right now. I write opera houses. I get more gigs for myself than my agent. But once I get that contract, someone's got to fill it out, and it can't be me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then they get 12%. But it's like, what the fuck did you do? You know what I mean? That's kind of the case sometimes. And the degree is the same thing. It's like, I'm here singing. Why do I need the piece of paper to prove it?
What I mean is, you know, like, if I'm talking to just the general public, and we're talking college or whatever, there is so much more money to be made in just picking up a trade. It is ridiculous. The statistics or just the numbers on what you will be paid to learn HVAC. You know what HVAC is, right? For anybody who doesn't know, it's like the ducts, like doing ducts in a building, right? Like for air or air heating or air conditioning. Yeah. They will start you off at some obscene salary to learn. Yep. They will pay you to learn because your skill set is so much more valuable to them than the opera singer's skill set is to the opera house, which is insane to say because an opera house does not exist without singers, but
there's enough singers.
There are enough singers, and there are not enough of those. And I think to myself, you know, fuck it. Why? If you have any other talent, develop that and take the best voice lessons you can.
Well, and that's the thing is when I built my kitchen in my last place, in Germany there's a Stockstrom, this high voltage outlet, and you're legally not allowed to hook it up yourself. So I had to call an electrician to come. He was in my apartment for less than 10 minutes, paid that guy 85 euros.
Right.
Okay? And all he did was plug it in. He was just like, blap, cool. Yeah. Like just fucking left. But like, yeah, like this what you said about developing your skill sets, I think it's interesting because if you get an MBA in business, at least, and my experience is becoming more and more Germanized. I don't know how much it is in corporate America, but I have a lot of experience in how corporations work in Germany. you will go start at a company like Lufthansa, like some airline company or something, and you'll start in marketing. And then they'll move you to advertising. They'll move you to the different departments, accounting, project management, logistics. They'll move you around and train you, but they're expected that your skill set in business administration allows you to be flexible. And as musicians, I feel like we don't do that. I feel like a lot of people specialize and then they ride that niche.
Yeah.
But it's like you have learned how to read music, how to learn music, how to use your voice. You could use these skills.
It's actually what you and I are doing with SDAO. To be perfectly honest, we started off with a certain set of skills, and now you and I are branching off and doing something different. It's basically,
well, you follow what works, but you have to cast a wide net, as we've said before.
No, what I mean is these new skills qualify us for different kinds of jobs.
Yeah,
the more skills you can have, the better.
Yeah, but just don't limit yourself to the box that is presented before you. You know what I mean?
It started off with student debt. I think the one thing that we wanted to say is not all the time is student debt worth it. Not all the time.
No, and don't, and what I'm trying to say also is don't be like pigeonholed, can you say that? Like don't be like narrow-sighted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like be flexible to let the career develop before you. And if you wanted to be a soloist, but you're getting like a lot of chorus work, you're getting a lot of concert work, you have directing skills, and people are like, well, if you can conduct, could you jump in? Fucking do it. See where it goes.
I have a cool story. One of my colleagues back in the day.
Nice. I remember that day.
Yeah, that day was awesome, huh?
Yeah.
His brother got some kind of architecture or engineering degree, right? And somehow it came up that the you know how you go to Chicago, you go to the Sears Tower in Chicago, and it has like a glass deck that you can walk out on?
Yep.
He designed that, and because he did that, he became the go-to man for everything in the world. Every building in the world that wants anything like that, he is now, his entire career now is that.
Yeah.
I asked him what he does, and he says, I design glass balconies for them to walk out on.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
but
it is all of a sudden specialized. It's not what he wanted to do.
But that's how music and everything works. You know what I mean? That's how that's all works. And that's what we're finding. We can't talk about a lot of the back end projects that Mike and I got going on, but it's like if you kind of like, we're doing this, and people are like, could you do that for us? Like we talked about this guy, Michael Vaccaro, right?
Right.
He did one castle gig, and the count liked it. He's like, could you do that at my buddy's castle?
Right.
And it became like this, like now he has like 10 castle gigs a day. You know what I mean? He's
not a day, but he is the biggest private opera company in Europe.
Yeah, but it's like he's like, you follow this guy and he's fucking working his ass off. He can't keep up with the amount of demand because he's the guy. Why would you hire someone to do it first time when this guy's done 80 fucking castle gigs?
Absolutely.
If you're a fucking prince and you want someone to do opera at your castle, he's like the guy. And he is someone who had I can't speak for him, but I'm sure he didn't plan that when he was younger as a singer.
No.
But he's like, I want to do an opera. And he kind of did.
He's quite an accomplished singer.
Yeah, he did a one-time thing, and then it just fucking happened.
Yeah.
And he followed it.
Yep.
And if you want to write music, if you want to conduct, if you would just fucking do it. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
An interesting discussion nonetheless, Michael Pegger.
Are we gonna do the other one in between?
I thought we were gonna sponsor it up.
That's what I mean. Sponsor it up.
Yeah, of course. So you want to announce them?
Yeah, I'll announce them.
So Mike asked for a 70s game show sponsor theme, so that's what I wrote for him.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I actually haven't heard this.
It's long, man, so go ahead and announce away.
Coming up as our next sponsor on SDAO, we have Jade Valish. Jade Valish comes from somewhere, and she sponsored us a certain amount of money. Thank you, Jade. Next up, we have an old listener. A long-time listener of SDAO from the Emerald Isle, Eve Stafford. You said it was really long, dude. I just beat it.
Well, you took a long time for two names, man.
Jade and Eve. Yes. You guys are making shit possible.
Yes, thank you so much, you two. I'll send you the passwords. You can get to the secret sponsor section too. But Mike and I got a lot of stuff coming up that you're going to see here soon. And as we said on all the other podcasts, it is thanks to you too.
Eve, you've written us before. There's all kinds of goddamn secret sponsor stuff in there that you got to check out.
There's goodies, so get in there, roll around.
Did Jade write us also before?
I think we had contact with Jade.
We've had contact maybe with Jade before. Maybe the listeners don't understand. People write us all the goddamn time.
Yeah,
we read it. We read every tiny bit of it.
And if you've written us and we haven't replied yet, we will either get to your stuff on the podcast or we will write you back personally. And we are committed to doing this until it's too much. It's too much, and it's close. But
write people. Love
if you're listening right now and you want to write us, just write us. We love getting the we appreciate what you're doing messages.
Yeah.
I like getting those. They keep us going. But also, if you have any questions, and it doesn't have to be all podcast stuff. You can also be like, I just have a personal question. And if you're interested in sponsoring us, reach out. There's lots of ways to do it. You don't have to commit to a long thing. You buy us a coffee. You can be $1. You know what I mean? You can start it there. But Mike and I have a lot of big plans, and if you enjoy what we're doing and you want to see it improve, we are working on making it.
We finally got our green screen the other day.
We got it. There's a huge fucking box with the green screen, and I had this whole day plan. I threw out my fucking back testing our gimbal supplies.
Right.
We're hurting ourselves for you, but yeah. Everybody who has sponsored up to this point, thank you so much. Jade and Eve, thank you. And if you're interested in sponsoring us, go check out the donation page of our website, or just write us and ask us what that involves. And we're very transparent with what we're using this money for. We're glad to fucking talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
Exactly what our plans are. We got lots of big plans. So thank you, everybody. So let's do one more tip, and then let's do another segment. Huh?
Nice.
Ooh. I always actually open WhatsApp and then I get blasted with some secret shit. Tip titty. You like that shit?
Oh, dude.
Was that what you wanted?
I would actually like to listen to it again.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just for this one.
Just
we can do it.
For this one, because it was too good.
All right, here we go.
Obviously, the Price is Right is your inspiration, huh?
No, I actually looked at a compilation.
Oh, yeah?
Of 70s things. They all sound like this. The bass,
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
The flute. Flute was so
doubling the flute.
It was so big in the 70s. Why?
I don't know.
Man, it was so good.
And this big band. That was a big. And then the sax stuff. Here.
Big collars. We just need big fucking collars. Maybe we'll do it like a dance, like with 70s pastel fucking suits and big old fucking collars.
Okay, wait, here's the big end.
We could do that.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome, dude. I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, once we
Man, you are I'll tell you. See, the thing is, ideas, men, are nothing, right?
Yeah.
I could have ideas for days, but if I can't execute the idea, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, but sometimes
you're the executor.
Yeah, but sometimes I need the idea, so it's a good team. But we're gonna someday get video podcasts going, and in the beginning, our plan is to do like one a month.
That for 2 years now.
Look, it's not my fault. If we had the funding, I would do it. But Mike and I, we've told you before on the podcast, we've bought and returned cameras like 5 or 6 times because they're just not good enough.
They're not good enough.
And good cameras start at like $600 each, and you need at least 2, realistically 3, to do any sort of interesting video podcast. You know,
I am willing to invest. I've often pitched this idea to Jared, like if we got enough for a camera or the cameras that we need, if we actually got that amount of money, I'd be willing to do something to embarrass myself for all of your entertainment. And I'm willing to hear suggestions.
Okay.
If you guys have something that you would like me to do that would be embarrassing or in any way degrading, I have no self-respect.
Okay.
So I am willing to do whatever you guys need me to do, as long as we can get these goddamn video podcasts up.
Well, my idea would be that you sing something and I give you a pink belly. You know what a pink belly is? That's where I slap him in the belly until it's pink.
Like that?
It's not like that. It's much harder and much more painful, Mike.
All right, well, I just promised that I would do whatever.
Well, that's
I'm
where the bar
eat
starts,
like
dude.
a bucket of shit or something. So don't
but
Fear Factor on it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Don't go full Joe Rogan. You never go full Joe Rogan.
Okay. Subject: Mormons, tea, and caffeine. By the way, I love these ones that continue based on what other people said. This is
they're listening.
No, yeah, but this is all I wanted from the beginning. Is that like
this is a different Mormon?
Yeah, of course. This is someone. So we for those of you that aren't caught up, because some people listen to our podcast out of order. We did we talked about BYU, and I was out there kind of doing some training near there.
The guy who wrote the original one also answered, right? Didn't we read that on the podcast already?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna read this one.
Okay,
I got no
read
idea,
it.
Okay. Hey, guys. I just
Nice.
fuck you. I
Good-
just did
good
it for
for
you. First, I love the podcast. Second, I was listening to your podcast about Lion King fetishes and risk, and you guys started wondering about how Mormons go about their caffeine and tea treatment. It just so happens I am a Mormon.
Woo!
Why do you gotta go Julia Childs all the time?
I don't know.
That was a real nice old lady crack you snuck in there. That was good.
Dude, old lady crack is only because my voice is poop stained
all
right
right.
now. Poop stained.
It just so happens I am Mormon. Okay, so here's the weird thing about it. We don't drink coffee or green black tea, but we can drink cold caffeine and herbal tea. I can understand the confusion, but it's not about the caffeine. We don't drink all that because of a commandment specific to us called the word of wisdom.
Give it to
Its
me.
overall principle has to do with general health, not so much a list of good and bad things. So some Mormons won't touch the stuff, and others, me, are totally addicted to the caffeine fix.
Good.
They just don't get it through coffee. There is a spectrum of Mormon loyalty. Haha. I want to have and eat my cake. Also, I have a question while I'm on here. It's pretty niche. All right, let me wait for the question. So,
Do we want to talk about what she just said, or
yeah, let's do that before we go to the question. So she said it's because of they don't drink that because of a commandment specific to us called the word of wisdom. Can someone write us in and explain what that is more? The word of wisdom?
Well,
Or are you going to Google it?
I can Google that shit. I have.
It's
I have
over.
connections
So
down
she
here.
said there's a spectrum of Mormon loyalty. So how many? Oh, you got to do okay, Google? Okay.
What is the Mormon word of wisdom?
Nice. Is she going to tell you?
According to KUTV, the word of wisdom, which one must abide by in order to go to the temple, prevents members from using or consuming alcohol, illegal drugs, tobacco, coffee, tea, and harmful substances.
Okay, so it is a list of things then.
I guess it's a list of things, but that's Google reading it from the
Wikipedia or something.
CUTV. What
Yeah.
the fuck is CUTV?
Yeah, someone tells us what that is too. There's a spectrum of Mormon loyalty. How many of you unwed Mormons are bumping uglies? Okay? I want a percentage. I want a rough, unproven percentage.
Let's put that as a poll on
Yeah.
Instagram.
How many of you Mormons?
We can't prove that you're going to be Mormon if you vote.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay.
Dude, how many Mormons are smashing and dashing?
Smashing and dashing. Yeah, I'm kind of blanking on dirty names for sex. I got bumping uglies.
Smashing and dashing is one that I just came up with.
What's
I
nice
think.
about the English language is if you say anything confidently enough, like smashing and dashing, people assume it's a preset
What was
thing.
the one I said the other day?
What, to
Remember?
us?
Now, I said something and you're like, that's not a
Oh,
thing.
we were drunk. I can't remember.
Yeah, I said it to you and you're like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying.
Yeah, but when
I'm
we're
doing
drunk,
my
I'm telling you,
best.
we should get someone to sit there and take minutes because we got some good ideas, okay? Poo party. I mean, we got some good ideas.
Oh my
right?
God. Can we please, at some point during this podcast, tell them about a poo party?
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God,
it's not
the
what
best
you think.
idea ever.
It's okay. All right, so let's get to a question. Then we'll talk about the poo party, and then we'll do the other segment. Okay. Also, I had a question while I'm on here. It's pretty niche, so I understand if it doesn't make it on the podcast. What do you guys think about the Messiah Christmas music scene? Is it worth pushing my career there? Have you seen opportunity come from it?
I mean, you shouldn't push your entire career there. That happens once a year.
Yeah, of course.
So don't do that. No, I would not advise that.
Yeah, but the concert scene in general, I think, is good. It's not a big audition scene in my experience, and so it's a networking thing.
Yeah.
So you got to branch in, but there's a lot of money there. The
There's
highest
a
paying,
lot of money.
When you talk about money for time invested, learning the music, but also rehearsing and performing, concerts beat opera every time.
Dude, especially in Germany, these churches in Germany have fucking money.
Yeah, and it's always the small town shit that makes you fucking
Absolutely.
big. So, man, I'm telling you, yes, invest your time in concert stuff. Even if you're having a good opera career, like you got weeks off, like fucking throw in a Verdi Requiem in there and make yourself a couple extra grand. Okay, all right. So now it's time for our second installment of Fach Fiction.
Oh,
And Mike, you better pull your dick up between your waistband because this one's gonna get your
Jesus.
rocks off.
Jesus.
This is another one from Rach Duval, and she stepped it up this time. So let me
Oh,
get
no.
the theme music in here.
Oh man, Rachel, what have you done?
Oh yeah! Installment
Fan
2
fiction.
of SDAO Fach Fiction. This title, Michael Pegger, Make Your Lips Like This. That's the title of the episode, Make Your Lips Like This.
What
This has a title, this episode.
Make your lips like this. Okay.
Make your lips like this.
Whew.
Okay, you ready?
Whew.
No, that's not the Val, Veronique yelled from the piano. She had been coaching with Timothy for 6 weeks, and despite the tenor's hard work, his French was still only passable. But she had a job to do. He had hired her and told her not to let him off the hook until his French was good enough for the French houses. After all, he had 3 contracts in France in his upcoming season, and the young English tenor prided himself on his language abilities. But French was kicking his ass, not because he couldn't do it, but because Veronica, I'm going to call her Veronique. Yeah, Veronique. But because Veronique was as beautiful as she was an excellent musician.
Oh.
The first time they worked together, he could barely get through his bizet because every time he looked at her, he felt himself beginning to sweat. Veronique found Timothy strange and enticing. She knew he was smitten with her and enjoyed the power over him she seemed to possess. Make your like this, she coached him on the cool Paris morning in October. He tried it. No, she said, beginning to feel frustrated. Come here, next to me. She motioned to him from the piano.
That's an old trick.
Right. I need to see what you're doing with your lips. He walked across the parquet floor and felt it squeak beneath his feet. His heart began to race again as he stood next to her. Had she noticed? Sing it again, she demanded, from here. Timothy looked over her shoulder at the music while she watched his lips. His arm was almost touching her shoulder, and she felt the hairs on his forearm raise to attention as he brushed against her.
God damn you, Rachel Duvall.
Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. Ah, I see what is wrong, she exclaimed. Do you mind if I touch you? Of course not, Timothy said, delighted. She stood up from the piano and placed her long pianist fingers on his top lip. These muscles aren't working enough, she said, and looked at his eyes. He was nervous. Here, feel me do it. She took his hand and placed his forefingers on her top lip. Like this. Je, de, le, veux. You feel it? I think I get it now, Timothy stuttered.
I think I feel it.
Not wanting to let go of this moment. He left his hand on her upper lip and without dropping her gaze, slowly drew his other hand around the back of her head. Her spine seemed to pull up into his hand.
Oh, that's very descriptive. Good job.
Can I? Yes. Anything, Veronique interrupted. He tightened his grip on the back of her neck and kissed her gently at first, and then, as if all the tension he had felt for the last 6 weeks was boiling out of him, he slid his hand down her back and picked her up. She wrapped her strong, toned legs around him as he carried her to the closet wall and pushed her back into it. I'm sorry I've been such a bad student, Timothy said, kissing her neck. You should be sorry, Veronica replied. I'm going to have to teach you a lesson over and over and over until you get it. Timothy smiled as he unbuttoned her blouse. Maybe French wasn't so bad after all.
Oh my God! With the tagline at the end.
Woo! That was good, right?
Ah, word. I need to open a window in this studio.
It is a bit warmer in here all of a sudden,
It's
man.
a little warm.
There were some strong moments in there.
There was one part where I was gonna go where I thought she was gonna go completely different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And in one moment, he released all the tension that had been building up in his vocal cords from years of poor vocal training.
She wrapped her strong toned legs around him as he carried her back. There was some strong.
there's more.
No. I'm just going back. There's some strong sentences in there, man.
Yeah, dude. The thing with he's touching her neck, and her neck seemed to rate. What was it again? Read it.
Okay. Let me see.
Wait a minute.
And without
where are my tissues?
Yeah, hold on. Get the baby wipes. He left his hand on her upper lip and without dropping her gaze, slowly drew his other hand around the back of her head. Her spine seemed to pull up into his hand.
That's very, very good because that's, if you like get the chills, that's the first thing that happens. Like you get good posture all of a sudden.
Yeah. A lot of experience in this, in this text.
Jesus
All right.
Jesus Christ, Rachel Duvall.
So we're waiting on your third one here. Now that our fans are all hot and bothered.
Write this shit down. Sell it.
Yeah, we'll put it on the website. Maybe we should put these texts on the website. Huh?
I'm down with that.
All right.
Fach Fiction. I like it. Wow.
That's good stuff.
I'm all hot and bothered.
Yeah, you are. Oh, we're 45 minutes in. I think we can do another tip here.
Okay, we'll go back and forth. We're going back and forth between
no,
tip, seg,
well,
tip.
there's no more seg, so this is all tip.
All right.
Okay.
I need another beer.
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't read it yet.
You want me just to sit here in silence then?
Yeah, that's probably the
You're
best
getting up like an old man, dude.
Dude, I feel like an old man.
Oh, chicha. Yeah. Our beer fridge is pretty full at the moment. You know, we used to announce the beers, but we kind of started buying beer in bulk, and so we kind of quit announcing it. This is the Bitburger, but this is the premium Keller beer.
Look, I would like to start buying other beers again, right?
Yeah.
But that's also an expensive proposition. So
yeah, that craft beer is not cheap. I mean, when we were doing that back in the day, I was spending like $4 a beer.
Plus, I kept
you too.
promising,
that's $16 a podcast,
right.
Man. That's not.
I kept promising to update Papageno's and never did it, which it was like the least visited part of the site anyway. So we might keep a list of the beers that we drank somewhere, but it's not going to be so fucking detailed. Although I watched recently again the Papageno's cocktail video.
Yeah.
And laughed my peener off.
Yeah.
Laughed it right off my body.
Dude, those bird noises were mostly yours, but they were fucking good.
That's you got to be born to do something.
Let's see what we got here. So this one's not a question as much as a read. This might be interesting for our fans. I'm going to read this whole thing, and then I think it'll lead to our discussion, and then we might be good for today. Mike, is that agreeable to you?
That's agreeable.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Here we go. Hey, y'all. Just wanted to share with you that within the past week, I had 2 non-opera fan colleagues ask me what I thought about Phantom of the Opera on 2 separate occasions. To be honest, it looked like they were bracing themselves for a snobby response from me. I guess they sensed that it would be perceived as a dumb question. I remembered what you guys talked about in one of the episodes and how important it is not to drive people away from classical singing by being overly snobbish. Anyways, it kind of felt like a pivotal moment where I could push people away or help them make some new connections with new music and opera. My honest experience with Phantom of the Opera is that it was my gateway drug into classical singing style. I have nothing but love for the piece. More generally, I listened to Sarah Brightman and Jackie Evancho and other classical crossover music for a decade before delving into opera. Looking back, I can think of lots of newbie things I said to my singing teacher right when I was on the cusp of getting and enjoying opera. If it weren't for her non-judgmental approach to my choices of repertoire and musical interests, I may never have found this wonderful art form. I'm only about a year into studying opera and seriously, and I'm loving it. I'd love if you guys could talk about baby opera singers, as in young kids who are discovered by imitating an operatic sound on talent shows like America's Got Talent. Jackie Evancho is a prime example. Ivanko, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Jackie Evancho is a prime example despite how much I love her. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the potential damage this could have on young developing boys, why the public's so drawn to the spectacle of baby opera singers, and how opera fans and singers such as ourselves can approach the topic with non-singers who don't understand why the topic is a heated discussion. All right, there's more, but I'll just leave it at that. So, first off, it was cool of you to recognize in the moment that it's better to kind of support people.
It was fucking really cool.
Instead of being
really
like,
cool.
That's not fucking opera, you dipshit. Like, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. If you've ever done that to someone and then you're like, why don't more people like opera? You're kind of fucking stupid as shit.
It doesn't just happen with, it's not just a thing with opera. Whenever somebody wants to talk to you about anything, and if you're a fucking dick about it, they're going to think that that thing that they're talking about is then a dick thing, right?
Yeah. And what do you want? If you're an expert on something and you won't help people to learn about it, like, what are you wanting to do with all your expertise?
Right.
Like, what's your fucking goal?
Point.
Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, you have to fucking think about that. Like, is it an ego thing then for you? Like, you're a fucking expert and they're not. So what should you do?
It makes my, I'm not trying to be overly, how do you say?
Vulgar?
No, overly sentimental or anything.
Yeah.
But it really, really, really warms my heart to hear that she thought about the conversation that we had.
Yeah, totally, man.
That makes me thank you for that. Thank you for saying that. I'm happy that in that moment you were able to think back. That I actually really enjoyed that conversation that we had. I remember that. I remember that quite clearly. We're 42, 43, 44 episodes in or some
I got no idea,
like that.
man. Yeah.
And I don't remember everything that we talked about, but I do remember that one.
Yeah, totally.
And it's awesome that in you could say, your time of need. We were present. We were in the forefront of your thoughts, because that's the whole point of fucking discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you think about things and then you can use that later.
Yeah, and that's kind of also and you want to pass it along. So what we did for you, you want to do for her, or these people that talk to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This person talked to you, so that when they have a conversation with somebody else about Phantom of the Opera, they can, like, it's a trickle down effect. You know what I mean? The conversation about these baby opera singers, I mean, like, there's a lot to unpack there, and I don't think I can get into it so much today. But
sure, we can. We got time.
All right. Well, first off, why are people interested in that? Why do people find that so fascinating?
People are interested in prodigies. They're interested in something coming out of an unexpected place. That's just a principle in fucking any, like, in a plot. A plot twist is the exact same thing. The plot twist of this is a kid shouldn't be able to sing like that, and they can, right?
Yeah, of course. With sports, with anything, I think it's
the crazy thing is that it keeps working. Every single one of those shows. I've seen child stars singing O mio babbino caro or Nessun Dorma in, like, fucking Romania's Romania has got talent or some bullshit like that, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen it a million different times.
And the thing about it is,
it's not unexpected anymore.
So a child sings O mio babbino caro, right? They sing this shit, and then what? Okay, so a bunch of people thinks it's opera, and most of them have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. You know what? Those people wouldn't have known what opera is anyway. So who gives a fuck if they have a false impression of it in your mind? But a percentage of those people are going to be led down a path that will lead them to liking opera.
You know,
when you have as wide of audience as these child pop singers have, millions and millions of people have viewed this on Facebook. At least 1,000 of those people have now developed an interest in opera, which they didn't have before.
Absolutely.
And so then the other ones have a false sense of what opera is. Oh, you can be a dramatic Wagnerian soprano at 8 years old. Who gives a fuck? So they're wrong. You know, like, what does that affect?
A couple things I would like to say about it. One, it kind of relates back to our last podcast when we talked about golden ageism. Yeah. Because we talked about how much the first recording of something influences you in later listening, right?
Sure.
There will be a certain and the problem with progressing is it takes effort. It takes effort as a listener, as a consumer of art, is that you have to keep listening and you have to keep discovering, right?
Yeah.
There are some people who they hear that for the first time, and that's their concept of it. And when they hear something different, meaning a legitimate opera singer singing it, they're not going to like it as much because they won't put that time and effort in. It's not a problem. They don't have to put any fucking time and effort into it if they don't want to.
Yeah.
But it does then take... So there will be a certain amount of people who will say, oh, yeah, I don't like it when Pavarotti sings Nessun Dorma. I like it when Jackie Ivanko sings it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck she sang to get famous. I can't remember. But I'd say there are just as great... It's probably 50-50 of people who will then start being like, well, what is this fucking song? Where's that come from?
Yeah. But, I mean, also that other group, would they have ever realistically listened to Pavarotti singing that if they hadn't heard her sing it first?
Well, Pavarotti's a bad example because Pavarotti was famous as fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
In a way that we don't know
whoever,
anymore.
You know,
Yeah.
so they hear Corelli or someone else fucking sing it. You know what I mean? Like, would they really have ever heard that recording if they had not been led down it from that?
No.
And so if they hear it and then they like her better, it's like, what does that do to us as artists in the opera world? Does that affect us at all?
It still is exposure to the opera world, and that's what we want.
In the end, that's what you want. But there are some other things to unpack with these child prodigies, right? There are good things with that, but there are negative aspects of it.
I suppose you could say that. She brought up vocal health and everything.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. And of course, yeah, if you have some child singing, I mean, O mio babbino caro for like 10 years on tour, she's going to blow out her chance at a career. But she's also going to be a fucking millionaire.
People forget that Beverly Sills did the exact... She's in a movie.
It can be managed well, but you need good coaching, right? You need to be managed well. But my problem with child prodigies from a personal standpoint, right? For the art form and the world, I don't really have a problem with it. Like if someone like shows me that video, people show me those videos all the time. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, you know? But my personal problem is that opera to me, I think that people can't sing Wagner and Verdi too soon. Not only because of vocal development, but also you have to kind of experience enough life to be an artist and to emotionally be at the point where you can do that. Even at 25 years old, I don't know if you've experienced enough life to handle the weight of some of the most deep characters that exist in the opera world. You know what I mean? And a child singing O mio bambino caro, a song crying to her father. You know what I mean? Like, of course, they don't have the social maturity to even come close to being able to do something artistic with that. And every phrase, every gesture they're doing is artificial. And that's why it doesn't speak to me.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely. I mean, I'm glad
I don't
you
care
brought
what
it
a child has to say about anything,
right.
Especially not the most extreme human emotions that exist, which is what these arias are about.
Right.
And that's my problem with child prodigies. Like
no,
pianists, is like every phrase they're doing. It's like, yes, you've parroted that beautifully.
You want to bring some controversy into this?
Yeah, of course, man.
You want to bring some controversy into this?
I mean, yes.
Greta Thunberg.
Oh, I mean, okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Greta Thunberg is doing a service for bringing to light the issues of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Greta Thunberg absolutely doesn't have a full grasp of what future means, about what. And by the way, people, I'm a fucking fan, so don't get all shitty on me because I say anything about her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with today's fucking culture is you have to, it seems that you have to be either on this side of it or that fucking side of it, and you can't have any nuance. My nuance is that a child that young has, I think if anybody looks at it, has a superficial understanding of issues like this at best. And it's not their fault.
Yeah.
It's difficult. These things are fucking difficult. It takes oftentimes 35 years, 40 years, 50 years of experience on this world to understand subjects completely, right?
Yeah.
She is doing something emotionally for the world. I get that, right? But she's, in this case, a child prodigy when it comes to those sorts of things. When I see somebody singing O mio bambino caro, it's so layered, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, crying to her father, but in the opera, she doesn't mean it. She's throwing a temper tantrum. Which means that it's not just, let's say a kid was able to really, really get into throwing a temper tantrum. Let's say they were able to be there are good child actors out there, right?
Okay.
Let's say they're able to do that. It's really difficult for them, especially out of context, which is why sometimes I don't like when that aria in particular is taken out of context because it has to have the context of the opera to recognize that she's not
it's so hard to follow you, man.
I know, sorry. You have to have the context of the opera to recognize that she's not actually being like, Father, please. She's using that as a tool to get what she wants.
Yeah, manipulation, which is tough.
And how can you fucking do that?
Yeah.
We're talking about like fucking high art here. And I don't know. Children, unless you're fucking Mozart, it's difficult to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, I'm sure it exists. There's people, but it's like, I mean, that's one of the greatest excuses I've heard for like, why can't I sing Wagner at 22? It's like, even if you have the voice for it, it's like, I look at roles now at 32 years old that I looked at 22 years old. And I have so much more life experience that I present them in a different way. And when I save, it's not because my teacher told me to, it's vocal reasons. I actually have an acting reason that I'm not giving it full out here. You know what I mean? And you can hear the difference between someone who's saving to save and someone who's actually pulling back because they're giving a character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's subtle differences. And when I hear kids, I very rarely hear someone who is telling a story. It's just this parrot stuff.
Have you ever seen the...
It's like when kids use words way outside of their vocabulary.
Yeah.
There's no way you fucking...
This is about what I was about to bring up. Have you ever seen, it's like from the 80s, an Oprah interview with this child preacher. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, okay.
And he's from the South, and he's like, Thou shalt not defraud the Lord, and it takes you into the depths of, and you shall not, right? And then the people in the audience said, what? We want you to say, right? God bless these fucking people in the audience. They were amazing to say it this way, and they did it patiently because they... And normally audiences suck, right? They're not level-headed. But this audience was really level-headed. They're like, look, we understand that you're preaching.
Yeah.
But what I want you to say exactly what you said, but in your vernacular.
Yeah.
I want you to translate to us exactly what you said. And the kid could not. He sounded exactly like every one of these like really into it Southern Baptist preachers that you fucking hear that stand up there with their, sleeves rolled up and the tie pulled down and they got the Bible in the hand and they're talking, right? Sounded exactly like him. But in the end, it was just him doing an imitation.
Yeah, sure.
Young people, like 22 years old, oftentimes if you get a really good person, a really talented person, right? I don't mean to shit on 22-year-olds. I mean, 22-year-olds have emotions. We're talking really about 8-year-olds, right? 8-year-olds can do really good impressions of these things.
Yeah.
But they can really not do the things themselves. And like this kid that was preaching sounded like a preacher, sounded like he knew what he was talking about under the surface. When they asked him, nothing. The same thing would happen with these, with the child prodigy America's Got Talent kids.
Yeah.
If you asked them to explain what the fuck is this thing about, they would have no idea. And it's not their fault. They're young. They can't have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the biggest problem I have with it, because the talent's there, but I mean, that problem I have with kids, I also have with some adults sometimes. We usually talk about it on the podcast, like vocal athleticism is super interesting, and there's a fucking place for that. But also, I do want to hear some artistry sometimes, some storytelling, some depth to something. You know what I mean? Because there are people that just emulate what Caruso did. They emulate what Corelli did, but it's like, and that's cool. But you're kind of doing the child prodigy thing, but like for your whole life.
Not kind of doing it. You're doing it entirely. And the sucky part is there are clear markers. Like if you're in pain and you've got like a high or a semi-high note, and you're holding out the note, and then you increase the vibrato, and then you increase just the pitch just a little bit towards the end, and the energy towards the end.
Yeah.
That's signifying like pain and everything like that.
Yeah.
If you could just copy that, that formula is not so difficult. If you can just copy it, it sounds like you're being very emotional, but you're not. You're just doing it because you heard somebody else do it.
I feel
it can be a tool that you could use well, but
I feel like authenticity comes across though. I feel like if you're being authentic with the gestures you use while like singing and stuff like that, I feel like it's like even if you're using what you saw somewhere else, because that's what life is, everything I do in life, I pull from some sort of inspiration. You know what I mean? So you can be inspired, but I feel like you can hear authenticity when someone means it.
I think if you are a trained artist, you can hear authenticity, right? But
I think even the public can. I think we can define it as a trained artist.
Yeah.
But I think not all the public. But I think when you really take out the fact that they don't have the vernacular and they don't know the standard and shit, it's like they can hear shit.
Well, then you're going against what you just said to play the devil's advocate, because the public loves Jackie Ivanko. They love her. They fucking love her.
They're listening to something different though. Yeah, they're listening to something different. I'm talking about.
You're talking about being on the stage.
I'm talking about people that go to a lot of opera.
Yeah,
not people that went once, but people who love opera. And pop music's a good example of that. It's like people love fucking Adele. They love her, but they don't know why. They can't define why. And I could break her voice and her songwriting apart for somebody, but somebody and they like it for their reasons. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's a lot of artificial pop music out there.
Sure, but some of it is different than others, and there's one word. I think you can break the whole thing down to this one word, and that is honesty. Yeah. If you are actually honest.
Yeah, even if you're doing some like weird, like dirty, slutty shit, if you're honest about it, people still appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If it's like this raunchy shit, but you're like, I fucking mean this shit, then people, they still tend to appreciate it.
Somehow, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah.
Oops, I Did It Again, right? Yeah. Was somehow honest.
Yeah, sure.
You're somehow fucking honest.
I mean, you can't fake that, All right, look, I gotta go, man. My back's killing me.
Dude, I hope I don't get in trouble for. I wasn't shitting on Greta Thunberg. I like the girl. I'm just saying she's too young.
I know what you mean. It's like the message is good. What she's doing is good. But at the same time,
I want to hear somebody who has spent the last 30 years compiling numbers in a disgusting little
and they're out there, but the world won't listen to them.
Right.
Just like Renee Fleming's out there, but the world won't listen to her. They're going to listen to Jackie Ivanko. And so it's like, how do you use that for change. And that's kind of the conversation we had about these child stars is through them, people access the information we want them to find. And I'm sure through this girl, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? So you can talk about the benefits of it, but also the negatives of it. But it's like, you know.
My hope in this whole thing, if I can just say something on it, is that it's effective to the people who need to be convinced.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's maybe
with
the
both
difference.
cases, yeah.
I guess it is with both cases, but like the people I want to be convinced, like the people who have nothing to do with opera, they're oftentimes convinced with the Jackie Ivankos. I hope that the people who are like denying this big important issue are convinced by the Greta Thunbergs.
Of course. I don't know when the next podcast comes out. It's 2 weeks. We might have to pre-record this thing, Mike, if I'm gone.
Oh, getting all fat and sassy with
Oh, I'm gonna be getting hella fat and sassy,
dude. You know what I watched just again? By the way, going back to my fucking college days. Have you ever seen the Don Hertzfeld rejected video?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god, I can't. You've never heard this? Seen this thing where the cartoon's standing there? He has a spoon in his hand. He's like, "My spoon is too big."
No.
Oh my god, dude!
Is that relevant to what we're talking about right now?
I'm about to rock your fucking world.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just brought that up. There was some fucking reason why I just brought that up.
All right, I'm putting this kibosh on this.
No, put the kibosh. My spoon's too big. My spoon.